tonight we have Tiyi and Robbie Hibner, the creators of Templebabies Kids TV. And do you guys want to start off with the introduction?
Sure. My name is Robbie Hibner, and I'm the mother of.
Um, Tiyi Hibner, and we're a mother-daughter duo behind Templebabies Kids TV.
So my first question is what is it like to create with family, and also what inspired you to create Templebabies Kids TV?
Um, well, I'll do the family part.
Okay.
It's lovely. It's very lovely. It's a balance of um, love, encouragement, and bouncing ideas off each other without judgment. It's a very happy and free space, and I love it.
I'm gonna agree with that. Working with your family is good because you know you have the same intentions. You want the same things. You can be open and honest with each other without the filters of working in an environment with people that you kind of just don't know yet and things like that. And Temple Baby started with this young one right here, from her concepts and her ideas of stories that she wanted to get out since she was a child. And she wanted her stories to reach the world. And as an adult, it's my job to say, well, how can they reach the world?
Mm.
And thus, we began to work on Temple Babies. Temple Babies TV started with just stories. We actually started with free stories on the internet
To download and print.
to download and
Anybody.
print.
Mm-hmm.
Fully free stories. Then from there, we went to a store, a Temple Babies store, where the books were printed, and people could purchase them and have them at home with them. And then from there, we went to animated content, which is which was our main goal, was to have animated content, including live action content. So we're just on a train, stepping up, stepping up, stepping up, for the final goal.
Cool. So what would you say is your impact for Temple Babies Kids TV, and also like what's you guys take on the idea of representation for children of African descent, like
Yes.
especially when it comes to cartoons and animation?
Yes. I guess I'll start this one. This hit home to me because as a mother, um, I have 7 children, and with all my children, an issue with a representation was very important. Because when you look at television, um, as adults, we have things to watch. We've
Mhm.
got representation galore, Black Panther, we've got tons of stuff for us.
Mhm.
But those are big movies, blockbuster things like that, or adult shows and girlfriends, or just different things like that. But
Mhm.
for children whose minds are the most impressionable minds, especially our children,
Mhm.
all they have is Nickelodeon, Disney, you know, shows that were not made by them for them. They
Mhm.
were made for just children in general, which puts us, our children, on the back burner. So creating content, animated, fun children content with our children as the center focus, again, will the goal was, which it actually does, is develop the child's mind for self love, self respect, um, confidence, being able to turn to a world and say, well, I'm loved, I'm somebody, somebody wants me, I am this, I am that, I can be anything, nothing is stopping me, I can be an astronaut, I can fly to the moon, I can do magic, I can do everything. It's not always about, I gotta make it out this tough situation, or I've started from the bottom, now I can come to the top.
Mhm.
We needed stories where we were just freaking in space,
Mhm.
just having a good time, playing in a field of flowers, loving ourselves with our naturalness, our beauty, all our different shades, everything that makes us who we are. And that type of representation we didn't have. And we can't expect no one else to give it to us
Yeah,
either.
you gotta be
Mhm.
responsible for
We
your
have to be
own.
responsible for our own
Yeah.
children. We can't
Mhm.
expect Disney or anybody else to say, well, you know what, we'll give you what you need. We can't
Yeah.
expect that. We got to do it ourselves as adults who know better. We
Mhm.
have to be willing to take the time and make the content
Mhm.
for the children, because these children are the adults of tomorrow. They're going to build the future. I'm not. They are. You all are. You know, the young people are going to build it, not me. So all we can do is at least create a canvas so that they can grow from that, you know, on out. And yeah, your own personal story when you were younger.
True. To piggyback off of what she just said, I know firsthand the importance of representation and seeing yourself in these powerful positions. Because when I was a little girl, I had one coloring book, which was 8 pages, and in it there were 4 black children who were scientists, and their inventions helped the world. From that one little book, I had a life dream to be a scientist and a goal in my heart to do whatever I can to make the planet a better place. From that, if that one comic book affected my life how it has till this day, then imagine the power behind cartoons and animations. I always like to think that if you want to change the future, change the way you are telling stories to children, because how you impact them today will impact how the world will be tomorrow. So, yeah, representation is so important. I know firsthand.
Representation is key because
It is key.
I definitely don't think that there is not a piece of content that exudes what you guys have created. So thank you for creating that for children. Like I have nieces and nephews that, and yeah, I think it's sad and it's misfortunate that a lot of people go through those phases where we have these questions about identity because of the lack of representation.
Yes.
And when it comes to like it really is like just of having a lack of history in some cases.
Yes.
And so the next question I wanted to ask was how do you select the different heroes that you want to talk about?
That
Like
was
I
very hard.
noticed that within like your Black History cartoon series, you have people that you don't really know about, or that like it's like a counter narrative to like the narrative of what we know in Black history.
Yes.
So if you can talk about that, I would love to hear that.
I would love to talk about that. First of all, it was very hard because we had like over 100 different people we wanted to highlight because we were learning also because we have our popular heroes with Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the known heroes that the media wants to always have in our face, or the slave narrative that is always in our face, the negative version of the slavery narrative. We never see our victories. We never see that from the people that were kidnapped, whether they were kidnapped from Africa, the islands, from South America, even the indigenous Africans that were already here. Wherever we were taken from, we had a history that spanned ages and time, and even after we were kidnapped, tortured, and went through what we went through, it's something to be so. I'm so honored to be of this bloodline because we're still here today. We're not just here today, but we're here today thriving. We're here today to have this conversation, to tell our stories. Even the technology that we're telling the stories on is because of these same people that are connected to all of our bloodline. And that was very important to do the not known people because everyone was important. Like I was just telling my daughter, one of my favorite stories was
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens, when his mother opened up his chest and did surgery on him to pull out a mass that was in his lungs, which would have prevented him from running. She had to do open surgery on him because he couldn't go to a hospital. So now that was in the little known fact section. We have so many stories. I wish you could have like animated that. There was just so many stories. But like that story, I'm like, our children need to know that's where you come from. You come from the mother that could, like, okay, look, my son about to, I gotta sit here and do surgery on my baby so he can live. Or you come from Aunt Polly, who she escaped slavery and was she would help other people escape slavery. So she would sit there when she was older. So she had a boiling pot of hot water and a pot in one hand, and she would sit. So when slaves would escape, you would have slave catchers come after them. So they would see her and just think she's just an old lady and she's gonna help. And every time she would burn them with the hot pot and beat their butts with the pan, and the people would get away. And she never got caught. Nobody ever got caught under her watch. But we don't hear about that story. We only hear that we were just, we always going through it. We never
win.
We never win. It's just like we do win. Let's hear the stories that we win. That's why we didn't even if you notice in the stories, we didn't even get into how our different heroes transitioned, how they passed.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to highlight that, because they love showing Black death.
There's a common trend in
That's a common trend. No, we're not showing
like
no Black
trauma,
death. We're
like
only
death.
showing our joy, our success, and that we can do anything. So we wanted to do stories from South America, the islands, ancient America, because Africa, because a lot of people think that our story just began when we were kidnapped.
Slavery. Yep.
Right, but our story, we were not just kidnapped from the continent of Africa, but we were kidnapped while here in America.
Yes.
We built mounds and pyramids here, and we built other things in other countries. We built, as Moors, we built so much in Europe. We built, in all these different places, like the name Matt comes from Moor, because they wanted to be like us. And it's like our history was so erased so that we would not love ourselves. And it's not to be better than anybody else, because that's not even what it's about. It's to be enough for us. It's us. Are we enough for us? I don't even care what anybody else thinks. Are we enough for us? What does my child know of themselves? And that they are enough, and that you are a powerful being, period. And this is where you come from. You don't come from a backwards mind. No. You don't come from that at all. You come from scientists, artists, mathematicians. You come from kindness, and because all the time, our ancestors always opened their arms, even when foreigners came into our lands, whether they came here in America or whether they came over in Africa or in South America. We opened our arms because we were a loving people. And we got betrayed. Okay, lesson learned. We're up now, and we're just going to keep moving forward. But the key was, it's our responsibility to tell our story, and it's no one else's responsibility. Like, even one of the stories now, when we talk about the Anasazi, that's a touchy story for some people that are Native American, because everyone wants to claim the Anasazi. But it comes down to when a Hindu says, these are my gods and this is where I come from, do you question it? No. When the Celtics say, I'm Scandinavian and these are my gods and this is where I come from, we don't question it. Even when Indians say, Native American, these are my gods, and we don't question it. The minute African Americans say, well, this is my past, this is my history, these are actually my people, and I have the proof, it's now questionable. Where does that come? Why? Well, I didn't question you. Why you think you can question me?
How you gonna tell me about me?
How you gonna tell me about me? And that's the power that if our children have now, when they're young. See, we have it now. We're older. We read books. We've learned a lot. But the little kids, if they get it now at this age, I can only imagine the world that they can create if we start with images and true stories now. So I know that was a lot, but that's
well, that was great. That was great. This is gonna be great for our audience. So I hope everybody is taking all this knowledge in, because I surely am.
Yes.
I was gonna ask, what you pretty much answered it, but what do you think is your impact with Templebabies Kids TV?
Our impact is huge.
Yeah.
Our impact is very
It
powerful.
surprises us.
We didn't even know how it was really like changing people's lives until people started messaging us, saying how their kids played on repeat. Some child dressed up, took pictures and sent it to us of the characters they reenacted from the books and Black History DVD. And it made me so emotional and grateful, because these images is something I didn't have or my mother didn't have growing up. And to know that we're able to provide children what we didn't have is a wonderful feeling, and what keeps us going and keeps us pushing, because, all right, we see the power and the impact this is having on such a small scale as we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it just keeps pushing us. We got to get bigger and grander so we can reach more and affect more, because our children need it, and even adults.
Yes.
A few of our messages was from adults, like bringing tears to their eyes, like they've never seen themselves in such light, in such a way, and it fueled a fire and an internal power that I would say as African Americans or Black people, period, has been dormant within us, because we've been taught that we weren't great, or we've been taught that we didn't come from nothing, and we started in imprisonment, enslavement. However, when people see that, like, nah, you came from the best of the best, and in fact, you were the ones who taught everyone, and the reason they're as good as they are today is because of what you taught them. So it's beautiful to be able to give back and honor our ancestors and tell the stories that were never told.
Right. Because
it's beautiful.
Yeah. Everything they went through wasn't for nothing.
Yeah.
It wasn't for nothing. And it's our responsibility to let the voices of our ancestors come through to our children. It's up to us to do it. And the impact has been great. Like children dressing up in costumes. And, I mean, we're even surprised. No, really, we're surprised. It's just like, okay, we don't know if this is really going to get out, but I mean, let's just do it. We're doing it for the culture. We gotta get it out. And so the impact has been really, very positive. And that was another part of the motivation, was to show a culture, like to show that we're not just jeans and t-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, I love FUBU for
us by us.
For us by us. I love FUBU. But we are bigger than that.
Yes.
We are bigger than jeans and t-shirts and baseball caps and things like that. We're much bigger than that. We actually do have a culture, even though it's hard to have one, considering so much has been taken away from us. So even in the imagery you see that I think so many people are attracted to was a genetic culture into ancient civilizations, ancient Egypt, ancient Napata, ancient Miro, that's the braid, the Miptar, and things like that. Those are our ancient cultures that we're genetically putting back and putting it in our imagery, and it's attracting, because it's like, that's mine.
Like, yeah, baby, that's you.
That's you. That's you. That's all you. You got culture, even though everyone makes it seem like everything was taken away from you. There's things in your blood that can never be forgotten, and it feels as if that's a part of the impact, that is waking up something in children and in people. Like, wait a minute,
it's like a remember.
Right, I remember. I am also.
Hold on, I remember that. So memories tells me that's mine.
Yeah, so that is the goal. That's what we wanted to do, and that was our first big project. Was BH, was Black History Animation.
BHA back then.
Marjorie, we're brand new in animation, so.
Do you think? One question I wanted to ask was, when you were talking about just like our involvement with ancient civilization, today, is that one of the main reasons to the meaning of Templebabies? Is that what's the meaning behind?
Yeah, it actually is, because if you look through history and in different cultures, a temple is a sacred, holy, and pure place. You have temples all around the world, from our ancient past even to modern day. But Buddhist temples, it's just temples. Temples are always sacred, holy, pure places. So we basically wanted to create a space for our children to have that. And then from that space, those are the type of children we can grow. We can grow children that respect themselves, have a purity about themselves, and they have a sacredness to who they are. So that's Templebabies. It's to basically raise children with that mentality, to bring back those type of people of our ancient ancestors who built the pyramids and mounds and things like that, and to bring back the solemnness that's in us, that's been washed away, because most of the times, whenever we're depicted, we're either very sassy
Mm.
or funny. We're
Yeah,
the
the
funny man,
characters.
right? We're always the clown, or the rolling your neck sassy
Mm.
sister, or the promiscuous sister,
Or the violent,
or the violent brother.
violent,
Mhm.
aggressive, the
These
cussing,
are,
all that.
you know, and all those images that they give of us is a disrespect to the gifts that was given to us by our ancestors.
Mm.
And that's our ancestry. Our gifts are the fact that because we sit here today, that means we are a connection to the beginning of civilization, to the mitochondrial DNA, to God, so to speak, or to whatever, because we sit here today. Our skin, our smile, our hair, our teeth, our laughter, our joy, and the sacredness and the purity of that, and to bring that back so that it's like, no, you're something great. You know, you don't have to dance and be a clown for him.
Mhm.
You know, you don't have to do that. You're greater than that. And again, it's to remind us, well, Templebabies is to remind us that there's so much greater in you, and to just bring that back out into our youth. Yeah.
Protect the babies.
Yes.
Protect the babies.
Yes.
So what do you guys have any up and coming projects, and how can we stay up to date with you all?
We actually have a lot going on this year. We're always growing and looking on doing bigger and better than the year before.
Oh.
In fact, we're working to release this year our first 3D animated film, along with 2 animated children films and a lighthearted I don't want to say romance, we're not romance, but
Mhm.
a funny love story for the more older audience.
Mhm.
4 big projects and a few other smaller projects like comics and other books adding to our platform. But yeah, definitely we just want to keep growing bigger and better. So this year there's 4 movies. The next year there might be 6. Stay up to date.
Yeah.
Keep checking in.
We're not on. We used to be on. We're on YouTube.
Mhm.
Just like for updates of what's coming new or little stories that we put on YouTube. kweliTV, as long as they'll have us, they'll always have
Yeah, everything.
everything we have. Kweli is gonna have, and oh, and of course Templebabies.com.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Templebabies.com. Templebabies Kids TV on YouTube, and of course kweliTV will always have all of our movie content. And like my daughter said, this is gonna be our first 3D animated movie this year. That was,
Yeah.
and 3 other 2D animated,
Mhm.
basically 2D animated
Mhm.
movies this year for children. And the beautiful thing, even the lighthearted love story, children can watch it too. Like nothing we do, as much as we can, will never be inappropriate.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
as a family, everybody can watch everything that we put out. That's always been our goal, because as a family, we love watching stuff together. And who wants that awkwardness, you know, like,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, that. So, and again, that's again just putting the temple back in children, you know, into the babies, because they should be thinking about having a good time.
Mhm.
They should be imagining they're in a spaceship and using boxes to build ships and travel the world in their imagination and things like that. And we want to bring that back to the children. So, uh, uh, Black History Animated was our first like educational
Mhm.
focus. The majority of content coming out this year is like entertainment. It's fun.
Adventure,
It's adventure, comedy. Iju is going. It's one of the movies coming out. She goes on adventures into like another dimension and stuff like that. It's going to be more stuff like that. We wanted to start as the foundation with the education, just a jolt of this is
Make
it.
our statement.
This
our
is
stance.
it. So now we want our children to see themselves traveling the world and the galaxies and dimensions and having a great time. So that's going to be our focus for the content that's coming out this year. And of course, the lighthearted love story. That's that's important because it's just another facet to see how wonderful love can be.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't have to be about lust. It doesn't have to be about sex. It doesn't have to be about um, sexual orientation. It doesn't have to be about any of that because that's none of my business. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know about what goes on behind people's closed doors. But it can just be fun talk, fun chilling, and just to, again, put the temple back in the babies, just so they can just relax and just smile and just, bring that joy back. So.
And babies isn't just children. Like,
right.
We're all, even,
right. Even I'm a baby.
We're all young at heart. Everyone is young at heart, has that inner soul and the inner spirit that can relate to our content regardless of the age.
That's right.
It's very important that everyone can jump between, be it a love story, be it a kid's funny show or an educational series.
Yes.
It's for everyone.
Yes.
There's no boundaries with age.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for all this great information. I'm still just in awe. Like this, y'all, please go watch Black History cartoon series, and I'm sure kweliLIVE TV will keep up with you guys' up and coming films. So
great, we love kweliLIVE TV. Thank you so much. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us on your channel. We love kweliLIVE TV, and please check out Black History Animated. And thank you for the interview.
You're welcome. All right, bye, y'all.